Okay, so I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking like, oh my fucking god, this bitch fucking left again. With no notification after saying he was gonna post consistently for weeks on end. But as well as my job, I've been really inconsistent, you know. So today I'm gonna be telling you guys why I quit my job at McDonald's. You know, we're really gonna be talking about this because I was about to apply to another McDonald's. Like, I literally had to interview at another McDonald's. I probably wouldn't have gotten a job, I'm gonna be honest with you. Anyways, so I moved. New room, new setup. Nothing in here. Echo. Okay, echo. So yeah, I'm gonna be telling you guys about why I quit McDonald's and why I'm an unemployed bitch right now. You know, an unemployed bitch. And solely focusing on being broke. You wanna see how much money I have? I'm gonna show you. So we're gonna not speak about like what bag it's in, because first of all, his bag was not secured, it was gone by Morphe. So we're not even gonna talk about that. So in this bag, I have like a debit card. I have a Starbucks card. Starbucks card with 86 cents on it. I know, I'm not technically broke, but I still have like 86 cents for like a napkin at Starbucks, you know? So in here I have $8, I believe. Let's count it out. This is from my last paycheck ever, which I believe was like at the beginning of October. I don't know. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, it's 5. Okay, I thought I was more rich than I was. Sorry y'all. I don't have $8, I have $5. Okay, anyways, back to why I quit McDonald's. So, when I first started working there, everyone was like essentially warning me about how bad it was going to be. Like, they were being like, oh my gosh, Lily, like you don't want to work here. And I was like, what? I was like, why wouldn't I want to work here? And then I was like, okay. And then slowly and but surely, as I got more into, you know, the employee aspects of working there, you know, as I got into there, it started to make sense. Like, no one wants to work in fast food. I'm gonna be honest with you, no one wants to work in fast food. And let me tell you one thing, if you're gonna go to a fast food chain, literally don't go to McDonald's. Like, don't go to McDonald's. If you have a germ something wrong with you, you can't handle germs, after I tell you what I'm about to tell you, don't go to any fast food chain. Like, don't even go to like Burger King. Like, the only place I might like be lenient on is like a corporate owned McDonald's that you know is like always like following health guidelines because it's corporate. But if it's like a chain McDonald's in your own town, don't go there. It's fucking disgusting. They don't wash their dishes. If you like buy a Big Mac, there is literally, it's not clean. Like, nothing is clean there. There's probably like bacteria in there. It's fucking disgusting. I haven't seen mold, but they, for one, don't clean the ice cream machine. Yeah, I know. And when they tell you that the ice cream machine is, you know, broken, they just don't want to make it. Sometimes it would break on us, but most of the time it was just not. So they don't clean the ice cream machine. They don't clean the tubes in the ice cream machine. They don't clean the tubes in the shake machine, like the shake portion of the machine, which is essentially the same exact, you know, thing inside of the machine. So like the tubes are all fucking nasty and disgusting. They probably haven't been changed since like that machine was there in like 2007, you know. They don't clean the soda machine, so if you're wondering why the Coke from McDonald's is like very different, you know, if you're wondering why it tastes very different, that is why, because it's never cleaned. One time I went to go get water from like the machine in there, and there's like red dots, and I was like, who had their period in my cup? Like, my water is not supposed to have like blood in it. Like, who had their period in my cup? Like, I just don't know. So yeah, they don't clean that. There's like sometimes dirt, sometimes the water would come out brown. Fucking disgusting. Oh my gosh. And sometimes, like, you know, I don't want to say it. Do I want to get sued? Okay, anyways, so if someone brought up the wrong order to you, especially during COVID-19, we're legally supposed to take it back, you know? I mean, not supposed to take it back, sorry. We're not supposed to take it back. I don't know if that was like a rule in under any circumstances, but especially during COVID-19, we're not supposed to take it back. So if we gave like a wrong order to someone, we'd like sometimes take it back, depends on like if it was a big order or not. If we gave it to someone, like when you want to bring out parked orders, you'd like bring it out to them and they'd be like, oh my gosh, this is not my order. You're supposed to say, due to COVID-19, we can't take this back, but we can bring out the correct order for you. But if it was like a huge like $50 order, what you did was take it back and then repackage it in like a new bag. So like the old, like if the customer was like behind them, saw them take their food, they would just think that we were bringing out the new food to them, you know? Sued, you get sued for that. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we do. And after that, you know, that little tobacco, I used to eat like their food like every single day because I worked in like the drive-thru in the front counter until I got put in dish duty. And one of the people literally told me, they said, okay, so you're not going to want to like wash the dishes, but all you basically have to do is like spray them with a sprayer and then put them in the sanitizer thing. It'll be fine. And you know, sanitizer thing, yeah, fine. But there's like literally still flecks of like mustard. That's disgusting. Mustard, ketchup, everything is fine. It's gonna be fine. Now, that's unsanitary. Don't go there. Okay, after that, you know, I didn't say anything. I wasn't really complaining because it was kind of a job. But after that, I, you know, got to get not closer. I wasn't close with anyone there. Like I didn't like working there. I didn't talk to anyone. Everyone thought I was like weird or whatever. Didn't talk to anyone. So after that, you know, what did I do? I was just working normally. Nothing really happened. Mind you, this was like from May. Was it May? Like the beginning of June, so like May 30th to October. I didn't really have any problems until like the beginning or middle of September. I had a problem with a couple of managers there, and some of the managers were really passive aggressive and would talk about like other people in the sales floor, whether that be an employee or whatever, and I just like know way too much information about like what was going on with like who was dating who was fucking who in like the ice room. You know, I just knew I knew way too much. Okay, there was lots of stuff going on in the ice room in the back. Like we don't know what juices were on. We don't know what juices were on those McDonald's bags. So if you got someone's kids on your Big Mac, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you got someone's kids on your Big Mac, but or in your drink. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so it was all fine. It was all good. Here in drama, didn't say anything because we know what happens in drama with high school. You know, dealt with it before. Don't want to deal with it again at work. You know. So after that, I didn't really have any problems until this one day with like a manager. This manager would like always be like nice to me, like try to be my friend, you know, fine. But I didn't want to talk to anyone nor like be friends with like a 20-something-year-old man. So what happened was I just was like, oh yeah, and then I'd be like, okay, fine. So after that, I keep saying after that. Anyways, so I would be like, okay, and just go on with my shift. And this like manager like super mad. I think he got mad at me, like took out anger on me because I didn't like do anything. Like I don't know. I think he got mad at me because I didn't like be nice. Like I was being nice, but like didn't want to be his friend. But I don't know. So what essentially started happening was like towards the middle of my shift, I would get like essentially more like, I'd get more like, there'd be more like negativity towards me. Like I don't like, not negativity, like what's the aggression? That's the word, aggression. So there'd be like more aggression towards me in the middle of my shift when I like didn't want to like talk or like whatever. But I don't know. I was just there to get that bread, get the money and leave, you know? And it wasn't even that much. So essentially what happened was, before all this happens, the main manager cut my hours to 2 days a week, 3-hour shifts. And I was like, 3-hour shift? Like, what, ma'am? That is literally like, there's no point in me being in there anyways. So I took the 2 3-hour shifts. And I was like, okay, fine, that's great. It's only 2 days a week. So I was like, okay. So after this happened with like that manager, I was like, okay. And then I asked her for more hours. Keep this in mind. I asked her for more hours, if I could have more hours. And she said, okay, I'll let you see what I can do. And then she cut my hours, okay? So that whole, okay, my knees hurt, okay. So after that whole thing happened with that manager, I didn't know what to do. So, where are we? We're in the middle of September. Okay, we're in the middle of September. It's kind of good day, you know, it was going fine. It was like Travis Scott like time, like when the Travis Scott, oh my gosh, sorry I keep moving. Like the Travis Scott burgers were like a big huge thing. If I have to fucking hear, you know what I'm here for? I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I will literally come out of the drive-thru window and I will just go. Yeah, I know what you're here for. A choking. Okay, keep that in mind. And the spicy nuggets had just came out. So it was like one of those days, and it was going fine. Everyone's being nice to each other. Kind of a little bit stressful, kind of not. So I, as an employee, like what my position was, what the main manager put me as a position to do, were front counters and registers, and running out parked orders. And sometimes drive-through, if I had to cover it for someone, that'd be fine. But one thing I was not supposed to be doing was making orders, because I was never trained on that, and I wasn't, like, I didn't know how to make orders or do any of that stuff. So it was all going fine for like the first like hour or so. I had asked to stay later, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna stay later. So I'm chilling at the front counter, and then like this manager at the beginning of my show says, hi, how are you? And I'm like, hi, I'm okay. And then, you know, he says, okay, can you take front counter and lane? And I'm like, okay, yes, I can take front counter and lane, and that's drive-thru. So I took the headset, did front counter and lane, that's fine. And then this is where the real problem starts to come through. So as I start to get really busy, I start getting asked to help work on orders, which I'm not supposed to be doing because one, I have front counter and lane. And lane is pretty busy at this time, you know? So he's like, okay. It started off with like, okay, make the fries, make the drinks for the front counter. Okay, fine. That's what I've been doing, making drinks, not fries, but making drinks. So I made the drinks for front counter, and I also got some fries, like he asked me to. And then it started to get into like people were ordering on Uber Eats and like the other like DoorDash forms or whatever. And I was asked to make a whole like $50 order of like two big, like whatever, $50 order of stuff I didn't know how to do. Like I didn't know how to make the order. I didn't know how to do it. And then while I was making the order, I was getting asked to go help front counter, and then go do drive-thru, and then go run out parked orders at the same time. So I would do that while in the middle of an order, and then I'd come back and then get yelled at. And not only yelled at, I get sweared at, like that whole entire shift. And of course, with all that stuff going on with me, I was going to make a mistake. So I ended up making at least like one or two mistakes, okay? Nothing big, maybe just like a nugget or something, you know? And then I was like making the order, and then he said, did you bring out that huge like 40, did you not give them their 40-piece nugget? Did you give it to another car? And I was like, no, I didn't. And he was like, yeah, you did. You were the one running out orders. But he was asking multiple people to run out orders at the same time. So obviously, apparently, it's my fault. My fault. My fault. He said, I'm positive it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you. And I was like, no, it was not. And then he was like, yeah, it was. And then I'm like, you know what, fine, it was me. Even though it was not me, I lied. And I said that because I didn't want to do his fucking swearing ass, yelling yes all day, you know? So he got mad at me for getting an order wrong, which, mind you, I had not made that order, okay? I didn't make that order, okay? I didn't make the order, but I was making orders while running them out and doing drive-thru and front counter. I was making orders, which I wasn't supposed to be doing, you know, fine, fresh. Okay, so he proceeds to tell me that if I make one more mistake, he's going to send me home. Okay, he's going to send me home. Which I was like, are you, like, does it mean like it didn't mean I was fired, but that's what he said. So I was nervous. I was making the last order for someone, and I asked him, I said, is this the right order for front counter? And he said, yes, it is. And then I went to go bring it out. You know, I went to go bring it out, like as one would. I went to go bring it out to the person, and there was only one person out there at the time. And I was like, okay, here's your order. And then he got mad at me and he said, this isn't my order. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Now I'm gonna get sent home and I haven't even got money. Like, I was there for like 3 hours. 3 hours. He had cut me off 20 minutes before my shift was supposed to end, you know? So he proceeds to yell at me in front of all of the customers. After that whole thing happened, a whole bunch of customers came out from the bathroom, like a whole group of people, the DoorDash person whose order is supposed to be, which was out at a car, but came inside and sat down, came out. And he yelled at me in front of all of them and told me to go home. You know, if I'd known I was getting sent home, I probably would have called a ride, you know, but he told me to go home. He didn't tell me to clock out, but I clocked out. I stormed out and I said bye, and then I went home. And then I went into the, like, there's like a back employee entrance, so I like stormed out and then went out, and then went back into the back, punched in, and then called my dad and then asked him to pick me up because I'd been sent home for no even reason. It was just not a fun night. So after that, I had to call the manager, okay? The main one was out. I think it was like the store, not the main store, I don't know, the hiring manager, whatever. She was out. So I had to call like the assistant one, and she said, oh my gosh, that's fine. The manager, we've been having problems with that one manager. And I've been telling the main store manager about it for a while, and she just seems to ignore it and not do anything about it. And she said, but I will try and I will make sure he gets punished. Okay? Make sure he gets in trouble, you know? So, you know, I call her and she says, okay, it's handled. I get a text, because we were in a group chat, you know? I was in a group chat. It's the schedule, you know, for the next month. I mean, the next week. And surprise, surprise, my hours were cut once, like, again. Like, as soon as they found out about that, they had cut my Saturday shift off after I reported that to the manager, and she reported to the main manager. They cut my Saturday shift off. So I was only working Sunday. 3 hours, sometimes 2 hours. What is the point of me even coming in? You know, like, what is the point of me even coming in? I reported something to you, and then you cut my hours to 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours. So, you know, I ask if I could have more hours, and she says yes. And then she never gives them to me. So after that week, I went in for my one Sunday shift, and they like made me like, they didn't make me do anything, but like the vibe there they had that one manager working that I had a problem with. So he was just being like fake and really nice to me and like acting like nothing happened. I was like, okay, thanks, but it was like fake, you got me, so Yeah. That was like about it. After that, I just didn't show up again. I didn't really get a text from anyone, but I did go and take my check the following week because I did not show up for a shift, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. So I called out, like, I think it was like a couple weeks after that happened. I called out saying that I had a family emergency, which I did. There was a family emergency going on. And I'm gonna tell you what she said to me. She literally told me that, let's see, let's take a look. I don't wanna like comment on anyone, I don't wanna expose anyone, so I'm not gonna show you like the thing. Oh! I have to bleep that out. Anyways, so she said, so just talk to this person's already down 2 people today, and she said that just like she told everyone else, they need to find coverage for their shift or they need to come in. I just said I had a family emergency, and then she said, you have to come in. Or find a cover for a shift. And no one ever answers my text when I ask them for a cover for my shift, or like if I couldn't cover their shift one day on a day they knew I wasn't available, they'd get mad at me and then hold it against me. So like, if you couldn't cover someone else's shift, they wouldn't cover yours. But like, they knew it was like a day that I was not available. It was kind of annoying. So yeah, whenever you have like a family emergency anywhere, like if you are planning on like having a family emergency and not being able to come into work, or not even planning, like I wasn't planning on having a family emergency, but if you're not planning and you have an emergency with your family, just know that you will probably get fired from McDonald's, because this happens another time. And then one time I requested a day off with like 5 days notice, and she said, last minute, the day of my shift, after I asked her, she said, oh my gosh, yes, that's fine. She just told me the day of my shift that I needed to find a cover or I had to come in. So I didn't come in, and she got super mad at me and had a whole argument with me over text message. This like 30-year-old woman had a whole argument with me over text message. What? Okay, I don't even know. What almost 30-year-old woman has an argument with a 16-year-old over text message? Like, boo, no, don't, stop. Like, moral of the story is, if you're gonna work at any fast food place, don't work at McDonald's. Like, that's not a good fucking place to work. Don't work at anyone for that example. If you are like, wanting a job, you know, maybe if you want to deal with customer service, that's a whole different story. Like, I could tell you customer horror stories. Like, it's not even, like, I could tell you a whole bunch. So, yeah, if you are planning on working at McDonald's for your first job, don't. Don't. Unless you know, like, all the people there are nice. Like, don't work there. Like, don't even think about working there, okay? Burger King, maybe. Wendy's, yeah. McDonald's, hell no. Hell no. Not to mention, there's like some creepy staff people there that are literally 40 and hitting on 16-year-olds. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing day. I really enjoyed this like story of why you shouldn't be working at McDonald's. You know, you should not work there. If you work there, like, if you're working there and having a good time, good for you. But if you're planning on working there, don't, okay? It's not gonna be a good rodeo for you, and I was only there for like 6 months. Like, 6 months, like about 6 months. And it was toxic, like it was not fine. And I was literally only getting like $75 every 2 weeks. For 3 of us, you know? So yeah, don't work there. One time I got $34.